So now that we've kind of went over a lot of the basic stuff, I still want to cover just a little bit more basic stuff before we start doing any building at all right? So for that, I'm just going to come in to one of these flows, and all I want to do is I just want to, all I literally want to do is I just want to cover all the different message types that you can have, all right? So that's all I want to do. I just want to cover what are the different message types, what are the different things that you can do in any of your messages, all right? So you can add text, just regular text, if you just want to add some text. Hey, how are you? All right. So you can add text, and I just want you to understand that inside your text you have merge fields, all right, where you can reference somebody's first name or their last name or any information that you collect about them, including custom fields that we're going to go over, and including bot custom fields, which are just like global pieces of data that you can reference all throughout your bot. So any of these things you can just include, and you can, you know, create a message that says, hey, how are you, whatever the person's first name is, all right? On your text objects, you can add buttons. You can actually add up to 3 buttons, and these buttons can, you know, perform other actions inside your chatbot. So all of this we're going to go over more and more in depth. I just want you to be aware of the different types of message objects that you can actually use inside your chatbot, all right? So outside of this text object, you have quick replies. Quick replies are just little, they're just like little bubbles that have pre-formatted text on them that you can put in like a yes, all right? So you can ask the user a question, do you like pizza? All right, and you can just give them some quick replies that say yes and no, all right? And you can see what that looks like right here. And like I said, we're going to get more and more in depth, and we're actually going to build this. I just want you to be aware first of all the different types of objects that you can use inside your chatbot so that you can quickly determine if you want to continue with this or if you just don't think this is for you, all right? So you got your different quick replies that you can put in. These are just really fast way for a user to reply and not actually have to type anything out, all right? You can add images to your bot if you want, so you can just go in and put different images inside your chatbot. And whenever you add an image, you can also add up to 3 buttons on that image. So you can just reply to people with pictures. Image formats are going to be regular images, and you can even use animated images as well, all right? So you can also use a card. So a card is kind of like a sophisticated button, and you can see you can change it from being a small image to a large image. And the card is just going to have an image element, it's going to have a title, and it's going to have a subtitle, and it can also have up to 3 buttons, all right? So lots of different reasons that you can use cards. A lot of people use them for shopping, you know, to highlight their products and what their products are. So with this card, if you add another card here, then it no longer becomes a card. It becomes this gallery element. So a gallery is literally just an array of cards. It's just having multiple cards grouped together that a user can just go through. And you can see over here, here is the gallery. A user is just going to be able to swipe right and left and scroll through all the different cards that you have. And there is a maximum amount of cards that you can add, all right? I believe it's 10. Let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can add up to 10 cards. After those 10 cards, you're going to have to actually add another gallery. So a gallery can support 10 cards. After that, you need to add another. After that, you're going to need to add another gallery if you need more cards, all right? I do want you to notice that your quick replies, when we talk about quick replies, they can only be the last element. So you can't have a quick reply and then have more text underneath the quick reply, all right? Quick replies have to be the very last thing in your little message flow, all right? So you can also add a list. A list is kind of like a gallery, but you can add several. It's just like a different little format of a gallery. Instead of being something that you swipe right or left on, then everything is just in a nice little element section. And you can have up to 4 items on a list, and you can also have 1 button on a list, all right? You can have 1 button for the main list, and each of your list items can also have buttons, all right? So this is just a different format of a gallery. You can see that it's also going to take a picture. It's also going to take a title and a subtitle, and you can hook a button up there, and you can hook a button up there and go do something else if somebody clicks on that button. All right, so kind of like a gallery, just a little bit different, than a gallery. So you can also add an audio. You can upload an audio file if you want. It would be awesome if you could record an audio, but you can't. But you can upload an audio file that a user can listen to. A lot of people like to do that to send, personalized greetings. You can upload a video if you want. So you just go in and put in your video, and you can upload a video, and a user is just going to actually get a video, and they can watch that video right inside your chatbot. All right. You can attach files if you want to attach a PDF or something, or even in that file you can attach an image if you want to for some reason. But you can attach any type of file that you want and set for like malicious code. All right. So on that file you can also attach buttons if you want. So you can go in and attach things. Actually, you can't attach buttons to it unless you make it an image. All right. So now a user is just going to get this file, and they can download it right from inside Messenger from the chatbot. And then you can add a delay. So if you want to wait, if you want to send a message and then you want to wait, like 60 seconds before you send your next message, then you can do that. So the delay is just going to be a wait between when the first thing happens to when the next thing happens. So delays are really great. I like to keep best practices in my chatbot, and I like to essentially match content consumption with content delivery. Meaning I don't like to give users a whole bunch of content all at once. I like to give them little chunks of content and then delay for enough time for them to actually read that content before I send them the next bit of content. So you're really going to want to use delays a lot. All right. And then if you're a pro user, you've got some advanced features. You can get user input if you're a pro user, and that user input is going to allow you to essentially ask a question and get the answer back and store that answer somewhere. All right. So this is how you're going to be able to, let's say you're a realtor and you got a lead who wants to buy a house. This is how you'll be able to ask them, hey, what's your budget? What's the target area you want to move into? When are you looking to move? You'll be able to actually ask them questions, get their answer back, and store their answer somewhere so that you can use that data later on for automations or to segment them and filter them. All right, we're going to get into all this and show you how to set all this up, and it's really a great feature. So I use user input a lot. And then if you're also a pro user, not only a pro user but a little bit more advanced user, you've got this dynamic content block. All right. So we are going to go over exactly how to use this, but this dynamic content block allows you to go in and get dynamic content, let's say from your own server or some third-party API. So it allows you to actually send data and receive data back from third-party integrations without having to use something like Zapier. But you will need to know a little bit basics about coding and how HTTP requests happen, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be either making post requests or get requests to external applications like your own server. So for example, let's say maybe you've got your own database and you've got your own users, and inside that database you have a lot of information about your users. You could actually just make a post request out to your database, make a little API route on your database, and then you can have Manychat hit your own database and pull in custom data. Like let's say you're a realtor and you have a database like an MLS. Well, you could collect information from the user, what their budget is, what area that they're wanting to actually move into and purchase a house, and you could take that information, you could post it off to your own application, you can run a search in your database and say, hey, find me all the houses in this particular area that are within this budget range, plus or minus, some covariant, and then you can get back a response that shows all those different houses. So this is just a way for you to integrate with third-party applications, including your own server. This is one of my favorite features and functionalities because it truly allows you to make a really sophisticated chatbot. All right. So that just kind of covers every different type of message object that you can use inside Manychat. All right. So that kind of covers everything that we needed to go over in the very basics. So everything that we needed to go over in the very basics has now been covered. In our next training session, we are going to cover some of the other very basic things, the initial setup that you want to do on your bot, like your main menu and your default reply and your welcome message. So we're going to cover those in our next lesson, and then after that we're going to go in and start building actual flows out and show you how the flows work, because we're going to kind of need those flows in order to go over keywords, in order to go over sequences, and build out those things. So in our very next training, we're going to cover some of this automation stuff, and so we're going to have automation part 1. Then after that, we're going to jump into flows, and we're going to completely cover the actual flows. And then after we do that, then we can actually come back into automation part 2. And then I might actually put the settings in before that, because we're going to probably want to come over custom fields, because those custom fields we're going to actually be using in our automations. All right? So that's it for the very basic, guys.